Hi, I'm Harry and I'm 13 years old and I like making online video.
Hi, my name's Evan and I'm 13 years old. Normally you find me dancing on a stage in front of an audience.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, I'm 16, and if I'm not hanging with my friends, you'll find me on the footy field. At least you would have.
Okay, let's just take a minute to be real here.
Having to go through isolation due to COVID-19 was definitely not ideal.
There was definitely some days where I was worried and anxious there, but there were awesome things to come out of it.
Yep, we hear ya. The roller coaster of emotions we've all experienced living through a pandemic and isolation has been pretty overwhelming to deal with at times. That's why we're bringing in a Kids Helpline counsellor. We want to know what you've been going through.
Hi, my name's Amanda and I'm a Kids Helpline counsellor, and as a counsellor, I will listen to you, believe you, and support you with absolutely anything, including any tricky emotions, big changes, or really stressful times you might be going through, kind of like the COVID-19 pandemic.
At first I was a little scared that my family would get it.
My dad was over in Europe, and so that was a bit stressful, wondering if he was going to get home all right, if he was safe over there.
I found it oddly thrilling, yet I still was a little bit nervous.
He had to isolate for 2 weeks, and during that 2 weeks period it was his birthday, so we had to leave a cake at the door and not be able to see him on his birthday, which was pretty hard, have to celebrate socially distancing.
Cats are looking good this week?
Yeah. I was definitely nervous for my family because my parents both work in government jobs as police and nurse, so they were more exposed jobs, so I was concerned for them.
Sometimes I was feeling a little happy some days and then another days a bit down.
I felt like I was in a big moment in history.
It's really normal to have a range of emotions, and they can be completely different and opposite emotions. So like Jasmine was talking about feeling really anxious at the beginning of the pandemic. Harry was saying he was really thrilled. It was a thrilling time in history, which they kind of sound like opposite emotions, but it's actually really possible to have opposite and conflicting emotions at the same time. The important thing to remember is that your emotions are normal and that you're not alone. You can absolutely talk to someone and get support about any emotion that you're feeling, and they're definitely okay to talk about.
So before isolation, I loved my AFL, so I'd play, we would train every Tuesday and Thursday and we would play on the weekends.
I definitely was disappointed that I wasn't able to go to school.
Well, I loved going out to my dance studio and dancing with my friends, but when COVID came around, I couldn't do that anymore and I had to start dancing at home.
I was enjoying school a lot and I was really getting back into it about the start of year 8.
I feel like with everything, there was a different experience. So there was a different experience for AFL, a different experience for dance, different experience for school.
Online school was difficult. When school went back for the start of term 2, it was all online and I was pretty motivated and had high hopes for online learning.
I became obsessed with catching up on my work and just getting ahead and doing more than what was expected because it was just so new and exciting for me.
With my PC teacher, we have a really good relationship with her, so I can always talk to her and she'll always give me help if I need it.
And then I'd gone from here to here and then it stayed that way. And then it just, over time, slowly went down.
But the second week was a bit hard because I fell behind in my maths homework and everything was just kind of catching up.
And then I kind of just stopped. Online learning. I just kind of stopped.
When you're going through a lot of stress and change and having down days and having anxious days, it's just really important to be kind to yourself and give yourself a little bit of a break. It's also important to do things that you enjoy. So if, journaling is something that works for you, give it a go. If you really like exercising, going for a walk, and that works for you, awesome, definitely do it.
I wouldn't say I had to lean on someone, but there was definitely some people that I could talk to if I was ever struggling.
I used the support of my friends and my family and definitely my teachers.
I used gaming as a way of escapism to go into another world where there were no troubles, no virus, and just have a good time.
If I was having a bad day, I'd play games with my friends as they cheer me up and stuff.
Even when those days we didn't feel that great and we wanted to take a day off, it was just self-care, so take a bath, put on a face mask, just to look after yourself on those mental health days.
Some of the main things that probably would have worried me is actually coming across someone that's sick and if they were coughing while I was out in public and you kind of be like, oh, have they coughed on anyone else? And then, it can spread again.
So I'm super excited to see all my friends and do all that. But then also when I go out to the shops and going back to the beach, that was different. I don't know why. I just felt more anxiety going back.
I've always been a bit of a germaphobe, so it's not that different going into a shop now than I would before the outbreak.
Wiping down the trolleys and when you're standing in a line, you have to stand on the dots.
I'm not that anxious to be going back to school. I'm just looking straight down the barrel and marching down, just excited to be back at school.
At Kids Helpline, we actually spoke to a lot of young people on social media and asked them how they felt about going back to normal. And about half of them said that they didn't feel ready, that there were a lot of anxieties and worries about going back to normal. All of those concerns and worries are really normal, and it's also really normal to be really excited to get back to normal as well. Jasmine, Harry and Evan all showed incredible resilience through a really tough time. And they all were resilient in really, really different ways, because there's no right or wrong way to be resilient. It's about finding what works for you.
You can always reach out to Kids Helpline for support with anything. If you're between the ages of 5 and 25, jump on their website and start a live web chat with a qualified counsellor. Text them or call 1800 55 1800. Anytime, any reason.